In this video, let us study about the mesh analysis, which is also known as mesh current analysis. So this is used in analysis of the circuits, like if you want to find the voltage drop across a particular resistor, if you want to find the current through a particular resistor or in a circuit element or a branch current, then we can go for this mesh analysis. So you know, mesh is nothing but it is a loop which does not contain any other loop inside it. Then what is a loop? Loop is nothing but it is a closed path in a circuit. So if you are starting at a node and we are ending at the same node, traveling through various other nodes but without visiting any node twice, then that is called as loop. We have discussed the concept of nodes and the meshes in the previous videos. So we will see about the mesh analysis, like how we are going to write the mesh equations and we will find out the mesh currents. So this mesh analysis, it is applicable only for the planar networks. It is not applicable for the non-planar networks. So planar networks are those networks which does not contain any crossover branches. But non-planar networks, they are containing the non-crossover branches. Okay, so this can be drawn on a plane without having any crossover branches. So if you are having a circuit like this, then this can be called as a planar network. Okay, so it does not have any crossover branches. So for this we can apply the mesh analysis method. Now if you have another circuit, you have a voltage source, resistor, this is also resistor, this is also resistor. Okay, so from here you have another resistor which is going to this point. Okay, and from here you have another resistor which is going to this point. Okay, so like this, if I consider, this means there are crossover branches. So this is your non-planar network. This is the planar network. And there will be some networks which looks like non-planar, but actually it will be planar. Okay, so for example, we will consider here there is a current source which is in parallel with the resistor. Here we have resistors. See, this looks like a non-planar network, but it's not a non-planar, it's a planar network because we can redraw this. See, this is a node, okay, so this also can be written like this as it is. So now we can write this as two resistors like this, right? It's parallel, these are also in parallel, here these are also in parallel, and we have from this node to this node, means from this node to this node we have one resistor. No need to write like this, we can take that outside and we can write like this. Here also we can take like this. So now it looks like a planar network because there are no crossover branches here. So this is a planar network. So whenever you are given with a circuit and if you want to apply mesh analysis, so first we have to see if that particular circuit is a planar one or a non-planar one, because if it is non-planar we cannot apply the mesh analysis method. Okay, so now we will consider a circuit here. Here we have a voltage source V1, resistor R1, this is R2, this is R3, this is R4, R5, and this is V2. So this is a planar network, right? Because there are no crossover branches. So now we can apply the mesh analysis or mesh current analysis method on this. So first we have to mark the nodes. Mark the nodes so that we will find out the meshes and then we will be finding the mesh current. So let us mark the nodes. Node is a point where two or more branches meet. What is principal node? Principal node, or it is also called as a junction point. It is a point where three branches or more than three branches meet. Okay, so this is B. So this is a principal node. C, this is also a principal node. Now let us consider this as D, E, F, G and H. Now we can say ABGHA, this is a mesh. ABGHA is a mesh. BCFGB is a mesh. CDEFC, this is also a mesh, because they are not containing any other loop inside it. But if I consider ABCFGHA, this is also starting from the same node, ending at the same node. I am traveling through various nodes without traveling through a node twice. So that also will be a loop. But it contains two meshes inside it. So that will not be a mesh. So this is not a mesh, it's a loop. Okay, so this is a loop and also mesh. Okay, mesh, all meshes are loops. Okay, but all loops are not meshes. So these three are the meshes now. So from this we can say that there will be three mesh currents. Okay, so now mark the nodes. I have marked the nodes. And next see, if you have any current source, then transform it to voltage source. Okay, current source should be transformed now, that is to voltage source, so that we can apply the mesh analysis method. So current source, it will be transformed to the voltage source. Next, if there is any resistor parallel with the voltage source or in series with the current source, they should be neglected. Why? See, now I have a voltage source. Here we have a resistor 4 ohm. This is 50 volts. Here we have 1 ohm. Now I have to find the current through this. Okay, I have to find the current through this. Whatever the 50 volts, okay, across this 4 ohm also it is 50 volts. Across this 1 ohm also it is 50 volts. Okay, so if I remove this resistor, it is not going to affect your voltage. Okay, so 50 volts. So this is also 50 volts. Now we can write, that is current, that will be 50 divided by 1, that is equal to 50 ampere. It is not going to affect anything. So we can remove this. Okay, we can remove this. The effect will be same. And if you have a current source like this, if you have 1 ohm, here 2 ohm, this is 50 amperes. So what will be your current through 2 ohm? So that will be equal to 50 into 1 divided by 1 plus 2, 3. Okay, 50 by 3 amperes. But if I have a resistor here, is it going to make any difference? See, 50 ampere means it is 50 ampere only. So whatever the current will be, it will be 50 ampere. So there will be no difference in the current. You have voltage sources in series or current sources in parallel, replace that with the equivalent source. Replace that with your equivalent voltage or the current source. See, plus or minus V1, V2, that can be replaced by equivalent source V1 plus V2. We have already discussed this before, like how to find the equivalent voltage source and the current source. So that procedure we are going to do if you are having voltage sources in series or current sources in parallel. And next, now assume the mesh currents now either in the clockwise direction or in the anti-clockwise direction. But we will be assuming the currents, mesh currents, that is in the clockwise direction throughout. So these I1, I2, I3, these are the mesh currents. So anti-clockwise or clockwise direction. Mesh currents. And you have to assume these currents, or you have to assign the currents in such a way that each and every circuit element should be included at least once. Okay, no circuit element should be missed here. Okay, in any case. So anti-clockwise or clockwise direction. Now we can write the mesh equations, right? We can write the mesh equations, and then you can solve this mesh equations to get I1, I2, I3 using the Cramer's rule, or you can use any other method to find I1, I2, I3. So since we get this I1, I2, I3, by knowing those values, we can also find the branch current. We can find the branch current BC, we can find CF, we can find DE, we can find AB. Okay, we can find the branch currents too using the mesh currents. So here we got three meshes. We have marked the mesh currents also. So now we will write the equations for this. See, V1, since we are getting minus first, it is plus V1. Then you know the voltage drop, how we are going to mark the voltage drop. Since the current is moving this direction, so it will be plus, it is minus. So plus minus. So that will be, if you are getting plus first, it will be, voltage drop will be minus. If you are getting plus first, it will be voltage drop. If you are getting minus first, it will be potential rise, voltage rise. Okay, so this can be written as I1 into R1. Next, when we come through this, again this is plus minus. First write down the drop sign, okay. But when you go like this, it will be plus minus. When you go like this, it will be plus minus. Plus minus, okay. See, V1, we got to know. And when you come through this, it will be R2 into I1. But see, you are having another mesh current through R2. Okay, but that direction is like this. So it will be, this is plus, okay, plus, plus, minus, plus. Okay, that is I2, R2. That will be equal to 0. So this is the first one. Now we can also write this as V1 minus I1 R1 plus R2 plus I2 R2, that is equal to 0. So let us consider this as 1. Now finding the mesh equations again. Okay, I will be going to this mesh B, BC, FGB. So here it is, see, first it is plus. So minus I2 R3. Coming to this, it is plus minus first. So minus I2 R4. But see here, it is flowing like this. Okay, so minus plus. So that should be plus, right? It is a potential rise here. So that is I3 R4. Next, if you come to this, plus first. So minus I2 R2. But this side you can see it is flowing in the opposite direction. It is a potential rise if you go through R2 like this. So that will be plus I1 R2. So that is equal to 0. Now solve this. I1 R2 minus I2 R2 plus R4. Then you have, sorry, again I have another one, plus R3. R2 plus R3 plus R4. Then you have only one current here, that is I3 R4. That is equal to 0. Okay, so this one. Then we will consider this. Okay, C, D, E, F, C. So we are going through that. I3 minus I3 R5. Then plus first, so it is minus V2. Then we have minus I3 R4 plus I2 R4, that is equal to 0. Now we can also write this as I2 R4 minus I3 R4 plus R5. Then we have is equal to V2. Is equal to V2. So this is third one. So we can rearrange this. Okay, V1 we can put that side, and into minus if you do, it will be I1 R1 plus R2. Okay, minus I2 R2, that is equal to V1. We will put the EMFs towards right. So EMF in this case, second mesh, there is no EMF, so that is equal to 0. Here it is V1 and here it is V2. So we have got three equations. The number of mesh is 3, and we have got 3 equations because we have 3 unknown currents, I1, I2, I3. Okay. So these are the 3 equations, mesh equations. Now we can solve this. How? Using the Cramer's rule. Okay, using Cramer's rule we can solve it. Generally we will have, see, I1 R1 plus R2. So when we consider the first mesh, okay, the resistors will in the first mesh, it will be R1 and R2. So R1 plus R2, this can be considered as R11. This is the self resistance. Okay, so if I consider R12, okay, R12, the resistance which is common in both the first mesh and the second mesh, that will be your R2, that is equal to minus R2 here. Okay, in this case it is equal to minus R2. Okay, and then we can consider R13, which is common to both first mesh and the third mesh. You do not have any circuit element which is common, so that is equal to 0. Next, if I consider R21, the resistor which is in common with the first and the second mesh, that is R2. So that is minus R2. R22 is the self resistance, that is R2, R3 and R4. So we can have R2 plus R3 plus R4. Then we have R23. The resistance which is common to second and the third mesh will be your R4. That is equal to minus R4. Next you have R31. Okay, common is 0. R32 we have minus R4 because this is the resistor which is common to both. R33 is the self resistance, that is equal to R5 plus R4. This is the self resistance. So R11, R22 is self resistance, R33 also is the self resistance. Now you will be wondering like why it is minus R2, why it is not R2. Why it is minus R2? Because you can see the current here through R2, one is like this and another one is like this. They are in opposite directions. So it is minus R2. If you have in the same direction, then it will be positive R2. Okay, since they are in opposite directions, I will be considering it as minus R2, minus R4, here also minus R4, here also it is minus R2. So we can write this, okay, I1, R1 plus R22 is nothing but R11, minus R2 is nothing but R12, I2, that is equal to V1. Next we can write this as I1, R2 is nothing but here we can consider as R21. Then you have, okay, I2, yeah, we can multiply it by minus everywhere. So we can have minus I1 R2 plus I2, R2 plus R3 plus R4 minus I3 R4, that is equal to 0. So minus I1 R2, then you have plus I2, then this is R22, then minus R4 is R2, 3, then you have I3, that is equal, okay. So that will be equal to minus I2 R4 plus I3 R4 plus R5, that is equal to minus V2. Okay. Okay. So these three. From this we can write the general equations. R11 I1 plus R12 I2, okay, plus R13 I3, so on till plus R1n IN, that is equal to E1, okay, E1. Then we have R21 I1 plus R22 I2 plus R23 I3, so on till plus R2n IN, that is equal to E2. So like this it goes on till Rn1 I1 plus Rn2 I2 plus so on till Rn and IN is equal to En. Okay. So in this case your E3 will be equal to minus V2. E3 will be equal to minus V2. So these are the mesh equations. So R11, R22, R33, they all are self-resistance. R12 is nothing but it is the resistance which is common in first and second mesh. R13 is resistance which is common in the first and the third mesh. If there is no circuit element common, then it is considered as 0. Then R21 is nothing but it is common in first and second. So if the direction of the current, if it is opposite, then it will be considered as minus. Otherwise, it will be